Good evening, everyone. You are watching Sira, and I am your host. Tonight's biggest international story, the war that has reshaped global politics or geopolitics for over 4 years. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, as you all know, the war is going on continuously from the last 4 years, and now a major signal coming directly from the Kremlin. Russian President Vladimir Putin is hinting that Moscow may already know the endgame of this war. But what the meaning of is this endgame? And in this war, do the Putin want to end the war by some tactics or strategies? Let's see. But what does that really mean? Is this the beginning of peace or a strategic pause before escalation? Let's break it down. Current situation is we are seeing, according to the latest report, Russia has clearly indicated that any direct meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky will only happen to finalize the end of the war, not to negotiate from the scratch. This is extremely important. So what does it mean? Russia believes negotiations are already near conclusion. Moscow is not willing to compromise further, and the endgame framework might already be internally decided. At the same time, Ukraine is pushing for a high-level summit to revive stalled peace talk. But here's the ground reality we are going to show you. War is still going on, heavy casualties on both sides, drone attacks increasing dramatically, and frontline largely stagnant but deadly. But now we are going to see what is Putin's endgame means. It is a big question. What is the big question? What does Putin actually want? To understand this, we need to look at Russia's long-term objectives. Territorial control. This is the first one that we might see as a Russia's objective. Russia currently controls significant part of eastern and southern Ukraine, and historically Putin has made statements suggesting Russians and Ukrainians are one people. Ukraine is part of Russia's historical sphere. So the likely endgame includes permanent control over occupied territories, possibly recognition of these region as Russian. The second objective is security buffer zone. Russia has also pushed off buffer zones inside Ukraine to prevent attack on its own territory. This means even if war ends, Russia wants military depth, Ukraine may lose strategic border regions. The third objective is NATO factor. From the beginning, one of Russia's main concerns has been NATO expansion. NATO, what does it stand for? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Putin has repeatedly argued that Ukraine becoming a NATO member is a direct threat to Russia's security. So the endgame could include Ukraine is staying neutral, no NATO membership. So why Russia wants no NATO membership of Ukraine? Because this is the direct threat to Russia's security, because in any country who joined NATO means somebody is doing something against our NATO country, then all the NATO country can join their hands and come against you. So for avoiding this, the Russia want all of this. Now the strategic reality and why now this happened. So why is this endgame narrative coming now? There are three major reasons. The first one is war fatigue. What is this? After years of conflict, economies are under pressure, military resources are stretched, public fatigue is rising. Even Western allies are facing internal debates on continued support. But to who actually Western allies are supporting. Of course, this is Ukraine. Second is battlefield stalemate. Neither side has achieved decisive victory. Russia has territory, Ukraine has resistance and Western support. But what is the result for these situations? A deadlock situation has come. Now what will happen? We will see. But there is a diplomatic pressure ongoing also. There are ongoing contact between Russia, United States, European powers, and so on. Russia itself has confirmed it remains in contact with the US regarding a possible settlement. An intelligence report suggests that both sides now understand the limit of what is achievable. Now we will see the global implications of this war. This endgame is not just about Ukraine, it affects the entire world. The first, Europe's security. If Russia succeeds, it could reshape modern Europe, set a precedent for future conflict. The second is global power balance. This war has already strengthened Russia-China relationship and Ukraine increased US involvement in Europe and polarized the global alliances. The third is economic impact. The war has disrupted energy markets, increased defense spending worldwide, slow global economic recovery. Now comes next, what will happen next or upcoming time? There are three possible scenarios. Scenario 1, negotiated settlement, war ends through diplomacy, Ukraine makes territorial compromises, Russia gets partial victory. That's all. Scenario 2, frozen conflict, no official peace, ceasefire like situation, similar to Korea or past conflicts. That's all. Now comes to scenario 3. Escalation war intensifies. NATO involvement risks increases. Wider regional conflict may be possible. So at the end, uh, when Putin talks about the end game, it doesn't necessarily mean the war is ending tomorrow. It means Russia believes it has reached a strategic position of advantage and now want to convert battlefield into political outcomes. But the final outcome will depend on Ukraine's resistance, Western support, and global diplomatic pressure. So that's the situation is currently going on in the Russia-Ukraine war. But the war is far from over, but the conversation is shifting from how to fight to how to end. And that could define the future of global geopolitics for decades. So thank you for watching the Sira and for supporting me. Thank you so much. That's all for today.